Planning a wedding can be a mental challenge. Don't let all of the to-dos push you over the edge. Everything you need is just a mouse click away at Utah's brideaccess.com. Groom not included.
Welcome back. It's story time with the famous author Richard Paul Evans. Now, he's reading his own book, The Dance. It's a beautiful story between a father and the relationship with his daughter. So now, as I forewarned earlier, brides, grab a tissue.
Someone once asked my wife what I do for a living, and she said that I make people cry. I think of all my works, the most powerful is probably The Dance. It was a book I wrote about daddies and their daughters. But one of my favorite letters I receive from time to time is from a new bride who has had the experience of, at her wedding, reading The Dance to her father as a way to capture the moment. And of course the father always breaks down crying, and it's a really beautiful moment they share together, and I think that's the magic of books. And so with that, I'd like to share with you The Dance. A father once had a daughter. She was a happy little girl who liked the things that little girls do, dress-ups and kittens, and sometimes both together. But most of all, she liked to dance. Nearly every day she would jump and spin in the thick wild grass near the edge of the yard where the tall meadow flowers grew. When the girl was old enough to go to school, she danced to the Thanksgiving play dressed as an ear of corn. She could not see out of her costume very well and tripped over a boy dressed as a carrot. But she could not see her father. He was watching, and he smiled. When the girl was a little older, she took dancing lessons. She wore a pink tutu and soft leather ballet slippers. At her first dance recital, she tried very hard to remember her steps. She did not see her father standing close to the stage, but he was smiling. A few years later, the girl became a graceful ballerina. She wore pink satin toe shoes with long, shiny ribbons. One year, she danced a solo on the Nutcracker. Everyone clapped when she finished. The crowd was large, and the stage lights were bright, so the girl could not see her father in the audience. But he clapped louder than anyone else, and he smiled wider than anyone else. The girl grew into a young woman. One spring night, she put on a beautiful gown and high-heeled pumps and went to her first prom dance with a young man. When the young man brought her home, they did not see her father peeking out the window as they slow danced on the front porch. He wasn't smiling. The young woman fell in love with the young man, and they soon decided to marry. At the end of the wedding day, she waltzed with her father. Then the father gave his girl's hand to the young man and left the dance floor. As the young woman gazed into her new husband's eyes, she did not see her father watching from the side of the room. Though the father's eyes were moist, he smiled. The young woman and her new husband moved far away from the home with the thick grass and tall meadow flowers. Whenever he missed his daughter, the father would take out an old shoebox filled with photographs of her dancing. As he looked at the pictures, he remembered each dance, and he smiled. Many years passed. One day the father called his daughter on the telephone. "I am old now. I am cold and very tired," he said. "Please come to me. I would like to see you dance just one more time." The daughter came. She found her father in his bed, and she danced for him. But the father did not smile. "I cannot see you," he said. "My eyes are not much good. Dance close to the bed so that I can hear your feet." The woman walked close to the bed as she jumped and spun as she had as a little girl. The father smiled. Then the woman sat on her father's bed. She lay her face against his, took his hand in hers, and they swayed back and forth. In this way, they danced once more. "I have danced many times," the woman whispered into her father's ear, "in many places and for many people, but I have always danced for you. How can I ever dance again?" She buried her head in her father's chest, but her father shook his head. "You must never stop dancing," he said, "for though you will not see me, whenever you dance, I will be watching." Then the father went to sleep. As the daughter sadly left his side, she stopped at the doorway and looked back once more at the father she loved. And then she danced. And though she could not see him, her father was watching, and he smiled. I think what I love the most about The Dance is that it talks about the eternal bond between a father and his daughter. This book meant a lot to me because it's my own, actually it's my own daughters in the book. The pictures were done of my daughters, who, most of which are dancers.
Richard, thank you so much for sharing your book with us.
In our efforts to help you plan your wedding and take out some of the stress, brideaccess.com has a new wedding blog, and it's just for you. Get detailed information from the top wedding professionals in the industry, plus tips from our own brideaccess.com experts. Happy planning from brideaccess.com, where you can find everything you need to plan a wedding, grooms not included.